Hey everybody, this is another solving systems of equations by graphing example. This particular system that I'm going to provide for you this time is included in standard form. The last example that I did for you was where both the equations were given in slope-intercept form. So we're going to get started here. The actual example, when we work out the solution, will look eerily similar because I am using the same examples so you can see some continuity between the examples. So anywho, our first equation that we're going to see here is 2x plus 3y equals negative 9, and the second equation in the system is x minus 2y equals positive 6. So if you remember the steps for solving a system of equations, the first step is to make sure to solve each of your equations in the system for y. So I'm going to show that right away. I'm going to change the color of my pen to blue so that we can see that this is something that has to be done before you can graph. Remember that when you are solving a equation for y, it's like solving a literal equation. So things have to be alike in order to combine. So notice I didn't add that negative 2x and the 9 together. I didn't end up with negative 11. They're not like terms. And when you divide something on one side of the equation, you have to divide it on the entire other side of the equation. So both 2x and also 9 get divided by that 3 there. And same thing with the other equation, x minus 2y equals 6. You have to subtract x and then divide both sides by a negative 2. Don't forget your negatives. So if I'm taking a positive 6 divided by a negative 2, I get a negative 3, and I'm dividing a negative 1 by a negative 2, I get a positive 3. Notice at the end there I rearranged them so that I had my x term first, because the next step is that we are going to graph each equation, and I want to make sure that it's in y equals mx plus b form. Don't forget, when we graph in y equals mx plus b, the y-intercept gets graphed first, and then we use the slope to generate more points from that particular y-intercept. I'm going to change this so I have some graph paper. And again, these equations should look familiar if you viewed the other video. Once I change the graph here, I'm going to put a set of x and y axes on here using green. And I'll label them real quick for you. And then we can actually start graphing each equation. So the first equation, y equals negative 2/3 x minus 3, I am going to color code that in pink. And I'm going to graph negative 3 first on the y-axis. And then from there I'm going to use a negative slope, negative 2/3, go down 2, right 3, or I could go up 2 and left 3. Minimum number of points, remember, is 3 to get a fairly accurate line. The more points you have, the more accurate your line is. The next equation that I'm going to do, y equals positive 1/2 x minus 3, I am going to put in orange. Start at the y-intercept of negative 3 and then use a positive 1, up 1, right 2, or down 1, left 2. And they meet. The answer for this system, you have to solve the system. The answer is the ordered pair, or the coordinate where those two lines intersect. In this case, the point where they intersect is at 0, negative 3. Please make sure that you write them in an actual point with parentheses around the outside. All right, that's it for now. Bye.